Brian earns $67,000 a year, pays his bills on time, and cannot tell you where his paycheck goes after it hits his account every 2 weeks. Lisa earns $51,000 a year, has the same rent as Brian, drives a similar car, and has $14,000 growing in her investment account right now. Brian has never missed a payment, never bounced a check, and genuinely believes he is handling his money like a responsible adult should. Yet every 2 weeks when Brian's paycheck arrives, it disappears within 72 hours, and he watches his balance hover just above zero until next payday. Brian is one of 54% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck in 2026, a number that has climbed from 42% just 5 years ago. The most important thing about that 54% is that it does not describe poor people. It describes people with decent incomes who still feel broke. Let's run the real math on why Brian cannot get ahead and what Lisa did differently, earning $16,000 less per year than him. Brian earns $67,000 per year, which after federal and state taxes leaves approximately $4,350 in take-home pay landing in his account monthly. His fixed monthly obligations are rent $1,450, car payment $387, insurance $195, phone $85, and subscriptions $62, totaling $2,179 per month. After fixed obligations, Brian has $2,171 remaining, which sounds like enough to cover food, gas, entertainment, and still save money monthly. In reality, Brian spends $680 on groceries and dining, $210 on gas, $340 on entertainment and shopping, and $180 on personal care monthly. That brings Brian's total track spending to $3,589 per month, leaving $761 that should theoretically go towards savings every single month. But Brian does not save $761 per month. He saves approximately $47, and some months he saves nothing at all and runs a small credit card deficit. The missing $714 between what Brian should save and what he actually saves is disappearing into what researchers call lifestyle friction every month. Lifestyle friction is the accumulation of small, untracked expenses that together consume massive disposable income without any conscious decision being made. Brian spends $140 per month on coffee and drinks, $95 on impulse purchases, $110 on forgotten subscriptions, and $180 on convenience spending. Convenience spending includes delivery fees, upgraded shipping, parking, and last-minute purchases made because planning ahead felt like too much effort. None of these feel significant individually: a $6 coffee, a $14 delivery fee, a $9 subscription, but together they consume $525 per month. Adding lifestyle friction to his track spending means Brian is actually spending $4,114 per month on a $4,350 take-home pay, leaving only $236. Unexpected expenses occur every single month. Car repairs, medical copays, birthday gifts, averaging $280 per month according to government data. Brian's actual monthly cash flow is negative $44. He spends more than he earns every month, covering the gap with credit cards without realizing. Brian is not paycheck to paycheck because he earns too little. He is paycheck to paycheck because spending invisibly expanded to consume every dollar. Now let's look at Lisa, who earns $16,000 less than Brian per year and has built $14,000 in investments while Brian has built almost nothing. Lisa's take-home pay is approximately $3,350 per month after taxes, exactly $1,000 less per month than Brian despite his significantly higher salary. Lisa's fixed obligations are rent $1,350, no car payment because her Corolla is paid off, insurance $140, phone $75, subscriptions $38, totaling $1,603. After fixed obligations, Lisa has $1,747 remaining, $424 less than Brian has after his fixed costs, which seems like a significant disadvantage for saving. But Lisa made one decision Brian never made before her first paycheck arrived. She decided exactly how much of it she would invest automatically. Lisa automatically transfers $400 per month to her index fund the same day her paycheck arrives, before she has any opportunity to spend that money. After her automatic investment, Lisa has $1,347 remaining for all variable expenses: groceries, gas, entertainment, personal care, and everything else. Lisa spends $520 on groceries and dining, $165 on gas, $210 on entertainment, $140 on personal care, and $95 on miscellaneous expenses monthly. That brings Lisa's total variable spending to $1,130 per month, leaving her $217 as a monthly buffer for unexpected expenses and nothing more. Lisa is not saving more than Brian because she earns more. She saves more because she invested before spending, making saving automatic and spending the variable. Brian saves what is left after spending, which is almost nothing. Lisa spends what is left after saving, which forces her spending to fit her income. This single structural difference invests first. Spend what remains is the entire explanation for the $14,000 gap between their financial positions. After 3 years of $400 monthly investments at 10% average annual return, Lisa has accumulated approximately $16,700 in her investment portfolio. Brian, after 3 years, has approximately $1,700 in savings, less than 1 month of his fixed expenses, and essentially no protection against any financial disruption. Now let's talk about the paycheck to paycheck trap itself, because understanding why it persists is more important than knowing that it exists. The paycheck to paycheck cycle has 3 self-reinforcing mechanisms that make it extremely difficult to break once the pattern has been established. Mechanism 1 is the zero balance normalization. When your account regularly hits near zero before the next paycheck, that becomes your baseline sense of financial normal. Once near zero feels normal, any month where you have $500 left before payday feels like abundance, triggering spending that consumes the surplus before it can be saved. Mechanism 2 is the emergency debt spiral without savings. Every unexpected expense goes directly onto a credit card at 21% to 24% interest rate. That credit card balance then requires a minimum payment next month, which reduces the money available for savings, which means the next emergency also goes on the card. Mechanism 3 is lifestyle lock-in. Every upgrade to your lifestyle, a nicer apartment, a newer car, more dining out, raises your fixed cost floor permanently. Once the lifestyle floor rises, income increases get absorbed by the higher fixed costs before any additional savings capacity is created for the future. These 3 mechanisms together create a system where the paycheck to paycheck cycle becomes self-sustaining, each paycheck reinforcing the pattern of the last one. Here is the break-even calculation every paycheck to paycheck household needs to run before making any financial decision that affects their monthly cash flow. Take your monthly take-home pay, subtract every fixed obligation, subtract your target monthly savings, and whatever remains is your true variable spending budget. If your current variable spending exceeds that number, which it does for 54% of Americans, you are in the paycheck to paycheck cycle regardless of what your income is. The exit from that cycle does not require earning more money. It requires identifying which spending category can absorb a $300 to $400 monthly reduction without crisis. For most people, that reduction comes from the lifestyle friction category: the coffee, the delivery fees, the forgotten subscriptions, the convenience spending. $400 per month redirected from lifestyle friction into an automatic investment produces $82,000 in 10 years at 10% average annual return on investment. Not from earning more, not from dramatic sacrifice, from redirecting money that is currently disappearing into a category most people cannot even accurately describe. Brian's path out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle has 4 steps that do not require a single dollar of additional income to execute starting this month. Step 1. Track every dollar for 30 days using any method, app, spreadsheet, or notebook, without changing any behavior, just documenting what is actually happening. Step 2. Identify the 3 largest lifestyle friction categories from that 30-day tracking and calculate their monthly total with honest precision. Step 3. Set up an automatic investment transfer for 50% of that lifestyle friction total to execute the same day as each paycheck arrival. Step 4. Rebuild spending habits around the reduced variable budget, treating the automatic investment as a fixed obligation rather than an optional choice. Brian, following these 4 steps without any income increase would free up approximately $260 per month to invest, producing $53,000 over 10 years. That $53,000 does not come from a raise, a side hustle, or a dramatic lifestyle change. It comes from making invisible spending visible and redirecting part of it. The financial advice industry talks constantly about earning more as the solution to financial stress, and earning more is genuinely helpful when it happens. But 54% of Americans living paycheck to paycheck is not primarily an income problem. Median household income in America is at a record high in 2026. It is primarily a structural problem, a spending structure that automatically expands to consume every dollar of income regardless of how much that income grows. Lisa does not earn more than Brian, she earns significantly less, but her spending structure is designed to save first and spend what remains after saving. Brian's spending structure is designed to spend first and save what remains after spending, and what remains after spending is almost always nothing. The difference between those 2 structures over 10 years is not $400 per month times 120 months. It is $82,000 because of compound interest on early contributions. So the next time you reach the end of a pay period and wonder where your paycheck went, ask yourself one question that will change how you see your finances forever. Is my savings automatic and my spending variable? Or is my spending automatic and my savings whatever happens to be left over at the end of the month? Because the answer to that question determines whether you are building wealth or funding the cycle, and only one of those answers leads somewhere different than where you are right now.